library and finished his chips and beer, listening to the CB radio frequencies. Sure enough, soon they were talking about him, although they didn't know his name yet. Then a trucker with the call sign Big Papa piped up into a conversation. "My buddy's a cop out there in Whitefish. The dead woman's uncle is on the force, and they're out for blood. Said the unofficial order is to shoot to kill the bastard. Apparently he was her ex, a loser by the name of Brown." As strangers chimed in with enthusiasm for this idea, Harlan crushed his last can. He just wanted a fucking quiet night. He drove the car off the dirt road and hid it in a stand of thick trees. His rusty Mustang had been a good friend over the years. A man couldn't ask for better. He ran his palm over the trunk and swallowed the lump in his throat. Bitterness roiled in his gut. God damn Mary Beth and Dwayne, look at what they'd gone and done to him. Harlan slung his bug-out bag over his shoulders and disappeared into the forest. Chapter 1. Although he tried to burrow deeper into his sleeping bag, Jason Kellerman couldn't escape the finger poking his side. He mumbled, 5 more minutes.
Dad, are you going to sleep all day?
He pried open his eyes and peered up at his daughter's round face and clear hazel eyes, her bobbed golden hair grazing her chin. Groaning, he asked, "What time is it?" She grabbed his phone from beside his sleeping bag and checked the screen.
It's already 6:35.
Jason groaned again. "Mags, this is supposed to be a vacation."
The sun has been up for almost a whole hour. I let you sleep in.
Oh, what a kind and generous daughter I've been blessed with. He wasn't sure how Maggie had ended up a morning person, but she'd woken with the sun since she was a toddler, and at 8 years old, it didn't seem likely to change anytime soon.
I'll make you breakfast, but you have to start a fire first.
Why did I ever agree to go camping? Jason rubbed his face and yawned, the air mattress wobbling as he stretched out. She put on a sing-songy voice.
Because you're the bestest daddy in the whole wide world.
With that, Maggie pressed a kiss to his cheek and darted out of the tent, the flap left hanging open in her wake. Jason smiled despite himself. Her sleeping bag was tidily zipped on her side of the small tent, her pillow tucked inside. He supposed she got her neatness and early bird enthusiasm from her mother, since it certainly hadn't come from his genes. At the thought of Amy, the familiar twinge of guilt rippled through him. Brushing it off, as he did every day, he traded his plaid pajama bottoms and ratty t-shirt for jeans and a sweatshirt and crawled through the opening in their little tent. The sky was a clear blue above the treetops, white-capped mountains soaring high on the horizon. They called it Big Sky Country, and compared to Philly, Montana was a different planet. He breathed the clean air deeply.
The wood's ready, Dad.
Maggie fidgeted by the stack of logs and kindling she'd carefully piled, tugging on the hem of her purple hoodie. Her skinny legs stuck out of her too short capri pants. At the rate she was growing, she'd need a whole new wardrobe to go back to school in September. Jason's stomach clenched. He'd spent too much money already on this trip, even with redeeming years of air miles. How was he going to afford more clothes and shoes? Maybe he should have put off the vacation until next summer and saved more first. But by the time he'd been 8, he'd already been to Europe, and Maggie hadn't even been outside Pennsylvania. He had to give her everything she deserved, everything a good father would. Looking at Maggie's sweet face, he pushed the worry aside for later. Good work, sweetheart. Where did you get the kindling?
Just from right there.
She pointed to the brush on one side of the campsite. The campground was fairly secluded, and neighboring sites were separated by 50 yards of trees.
Don't worry. I know I'm not allowed to go off by myself, but I had to pee.
Jason's heart skipped a beat as he peered into the dense bush. Why didn't you wake me up? It could have been dangerous. Why had he agreed to go camping? In nature, there were so many variables. Maggie rolled her eyes artfully.
Dad, we're in the middle of the woods.
I'm painfully aware of that. She ignored him as she added,
No one was here. The people next door were still in their tents. Besides, I'm not a baby.
So you keep reminding me. But you know we're in grizzly country. Tomorrow, wake me up when you have to go to the bathroom and I'll take you over to the outhouse, okay?
Okay. Now will you light the fire?
She held out the box of matches. Gladly. Jason took the box, shivering. He was surprised by how low the temperature dropped at night, and it was still too